Good afternoon, and am I on, Tom? Maybe not.
Oh, now I am. Thank you, Tom Frederick. Good afternoon and welcome, everybody. For those who may not know me, I'm Kimberly Hawkins. I'm the senior minister here at Center for Spiritual Living Rogue Valley, now in partnership with Unity of Medford. It is my deep honor to preside, to help with this celebration of life for Nancy Ellen Slocum, beloved daughter of Janice Kennedy and beloved mother of Sierra Slocum, who you'll be hearing from in just a few minutes. Nancy was a treasured member of CSL Rogue Valley for many years, an awesome board president, a dear friend of my heart, and beloved, I know, by all of you who have come to celebrate her life together this afternoon. I'd like to begin with a brief prayer. So as we settle in, I know and recognize one power, one presence, one divine source, Father, Mother, God. It is everywhere present, all powerful, all knowing. It is love, that is its essence. And its center is absolutely everywhere, its circumference nowhere. It is an infinite life, an eternal life. And it has expressed itself as each one here, as Nancy, as each one on the planet. We are each individual incarnations of that one life. For if God is truly all there is nothing to be made from but that one divine cloth. So I know we come together as one this afternoon, as one not only with those living, but those who are no longer in this physical, well, what did Gene Houston call it? A biodegradable spacesuit, a meat suit. For when we shuffle off this mortal coil, the life that we are does not end. God has made us eternal beings. And so we know that Nancy is on to her next great adventure, probably wearing a pink ribbon like many of us. So I bless this time together. I bless everyone who came, everyone who listened later to the recording, as we celebrate, honor, and give thanks for all the great memories, for all the love, for all that we have shared with this beautiful being named Nancy Ellen Slocum. I release this word now, knowing that as all prayers, it is heard, it is answered. So I say, and so it is. Amen. We know that although Nancy has left our physical sight, the expression of God as her remains in each of us. So not only are her ashes here in this beautiful, colorful urn, but I believe her spirit is right in the middle of where we are. She is right here with us today. So as we recall those precious times when she touched our lives individually, perhaps when we were challenged, perhaps when our hearts sang, or when we had decisions to make, or when some of us floated together and laughed together in her backyard pool. We bless Nancy's transition to a new life as an explorer. And she was an explorer, yes, an explorer of the great unknown. Freed now from pain and suffering, free to dance and sing and laugh again. While we miss Nancy's physical presence, we know and affirm that the love between us never dies, it never dissipates, it never goes away. We carry her heart in our hearts and trust that one day we will meet again. A very wise mentor once told me that when somebody is ready to leave this earth plane, nothing and no one can keep them here. And when someone's ready, nothing can keep them here. And until they're ready to go, nothing and no one can make them leave. So I believe there is within each one of us an innate wisdom that knows the right and perfect time for us each to experience this thing called death, which is but a different view of the greater reality we call life. We do not question Nancy's inner wisdom in this experience. We only remember the gift that she has been in each of our lives. I now invite Nancy's daughter, Sierra, to deliver the eulogy for her mom. Sierra?
Hello, hello. My name is Sierra. Thank you for coming to the celebration of life of my mother, Nancy Slocum. I'm honored to be here with all of you. It's become obvious over the last few years that she meant so much to not only me, but to all of you. Her love is still felt in this room, and I can see it on all of your faces. It's a privilege to be here for the people who cared about her the most. Nancy was born September 13th, 1955, to Mother Janice and Father Kenneth Slocum. She had one sister, Julie, and a half-brother, Andy. Life was a struggle for her growing up. Her family did move around a lot, and after graduation, she did plant herself in the Silicon Valley, working in the semiconductor industry. After a motorcycle accident in the early 80s, she struggled with addiction. With the support of 12-step programs, she focused on her sobriety and passed away with over 35 years sober from alcohol. She was very active in a few programs, mentored and helped so many people, who many still credit with their ongoing success of their own program. After the 1989 earthquake, she moved us to Talent, Oregon, where she started her life here. She loved learning and seeking connection. She had degrees in both human services and paralegal. She worked for the city of Ashland for 20 years in the building and planning department. She also volunteered her time by being on the Talent City Council, being the president of the board of this church. She was a member of the HOA of where she lives. She was the board of the Camelot Theater and Talent. She became a very adept at writing grants. So she wrote grants to help many of those schools, theaters, and all sorts of stuff to help them get much needed money. She created a business called The Scholarship, helping students find scholarships for college. She also started the Clarity Rodeo, which helps people perfect their dating websites to get matches on the internet. She felt very strongly about helping anyone and everybody that she could, and you can see that in how she spent her free time. I suppose we can talk about her being a single mother, which, in my opinion, the greatest accomplishment, of course. I never felt that we were poor or went without. She always found things for us to do together and taught me many things about this world. She always helped me make my own decisions and think for myself, even if it was an unpopular opinion. Some of my favorite memories were her theme parties. We all remember the Jaws party, of course, but growing up, we had a theme party for every celebration, and I always had the winning Halloween costume. I remember in elementary school when we had a haunted garage, like haunted house / garage, where we put sheets on the walls, and it was complete with spaghetti bowls and dry ice cauldrons. Of course, we had our growing pains in my teenage years, but I know that she truly did the best she could and cared about me immensely. I moved back to Oregon in 2022 after living in Seattle to help Mom after her stage 4 cancer diagnosis. We were able to enjoy some fun trips together. I attribute my love of music to an adventure to her. She loved to tell stories about seeing many of her favorite bands when she lived in Southern California in the early 80s. She collected band t-shirts from that time, and I wore them all through high school, and I thought I was the coolest kid on the planet rocking all of those shirts. We were able to knock out the #1 bucket list item for her, which was to drive to Southern California and see Eddie Vedder perform, which was her absolute favorite artist. She spent the entire time either cheering so loudly or crying her eyes out. She held up a sign for him that simply read, "Thank you." While I was preparing for this eulogy, I was digging through papers and photos and getting ready, and then all of a sudden I stumbled across a toast that she wrote to herself. I'm not sure at what point, but it magically appeared to me, so I figured the best way to end this eulogy would be in her own words. "Here's to Nancy, a most remarkable woman, a woman who loves life and knows how to get the most of it one day at a time. A woman who knows how to have fun in every circumstance. A genuine woman who walks with grace, faith, and optimism and touches the hearts of everyone she meets. Her goal in life is to leave this world a better place, and she has met that goal. She developed a method to teach children of all ages life skills and self-confidence, thus sparking a whole generation of unlimited possibilities. If that wasn't enough, she also redefined womanhood for society, and now women of the world can walk tall. So here's to you, Nancy, so all the late bloomers have hope." Love you, Mom. Rest in peace, and we'll meet again.
So now we're going to hear from four of Nancy's close friends, one after the other. There will be time for everybody to share. We have a wireless mic and then a slideshow. So I'm just going to sit here and watch you all come up in order. Becky Durango, I think you're first.
We are living 'neath the great Big Dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in this stream together, some in power, some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. I am alone, and I am searching, hungering for answers in my time. I am balanced at the brink of wisdom. I'm impatient to receive a sign. I move forward with my senses open. Imperfection, it be my crime. In humility, I will listen. We're all swimming to the other side. We are living 'neath the great Big Dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power, some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. On this journey through thoughts and feelings, binding intuition, my head, my heart, I am gathering the tools together. I'm preparing to do my part. All of those who have come before me, band together and be my guide. Loving lessons that I will follow. We're all swimming to the other side. We are living 'neath the great Big Dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. When we get there, we'll discover all the gifts we've been given to share have been with us since life's beginning, and we never noticed they were there. We can balance at the brink of wisdom, never recognizing that we've arrived. Loving spirits will live together. We're all swimming to the other side. We are living 'neath the great Big Dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits do live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. Loving spirits do live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. Loving spirits live forever. We're all swimming, swimming, swimming to the other side.
never went to the parties where she had these lovely pink parts there.
Joy, would you?
Oh, sorry.
There you go.
I never went to any of the parties where they had any of these pink things, but it just feels so Nancy-ish to be wearing them. And I really appreciate that there's some guys in here that decided to wear them too. Just equal opportunity for everyone here. My name is Joy Winscott, and I had the pleasure of being Nancy's caretaker for about a year and a half. I got this caretaking job through a friend of a friend of a friend kind of thing. And so we had never met before I showed up that first day. But I knew that we could get along together, that we could be compatible, that we could find some places to love each other, to have sorrow with each other. And we did all that. There were days when Nancy and I were stubborn with each other. I don't know if any of you might relate that there might have been those days, whether she was stubborn or I was stubborn. It just might have happened, you know. But there were those days when there was a lot of love between us. It might have started on one of those days. You know, she had 24/7 TV, and she liked the TV on. Don't turn it off, please. Leave it on. And we watched Lassie a lot. Now, I don't know how many of you remember Lassie from years and years and years ago. And Lassie, for those of you that don't, is a 30-minute program. So that worked really well for Nancy at this stage because her attention span was not great some days. And what she remembered from moment to moment was not great some days. So 30 minutes was just the right amount of time. You know, there's always the Lassie and Timmy, or the other kid that was there sometime. I didn't like Jeff as much, but Timmy, I really liked him, and so did Nancy. So we were together on that aspect, and it would always start off with Lassie saving the day. You know, there were zoo animals, and there were times when people would fall in the well. And I mean, dramatic things happened back in this little bitty country community that I find really hard to believe. But Lassie was an integral part of her life and mine while I was there caretaking. So we would watch this, and then there's this part about Nancy and about me where we're logical. Okay? So we would see something happening, like them falling down into the well, somebody. And we would say, why don't they just do this and this, you know, on a more logical thing, rather than Lassie having to run back to this place or that place and find this particular person. And it took a lot of work on Lassie's part. I also wanted to say, because Sierra hadn't said this, was that in the later months, Nancy and Sierra had a monitor so that Sierra could wake up if Nancy needed her during the night. And being that I said that Lassie was on 24/7, then Sierra got to hear Lassie. Now, the amazing part about Lassie is that every show ended with them hugging each other, Timmy and Lassie. And the song was always louder than the rest of the whole thing. And so Sierra would get a chance, if she chose to or not chose to hear that there's Lassie. Oh,
Lassie!
Every half.
Yeah, the part last was so loud. Oh dear.
We also got to watch, let's Murder, She Wrote, that was on quite a long time. And then the old Westerns. Now, we're not talking about the Westerns, we're talking about the Westerns from like the 50s or the 40s. We found a few that were even older than that, and it was a challenge, to find Westerns. Which was the one that you really liked?
Bonanza or Rifleman or...
Bonanza or Rifleman. But there was another, not Zane Grey, but the
Gunsmoke was a...
Gunsmoke. Anyways, there were a lot of Westerns, and we got to watch them over and over and over again. Yes. Oh, Rawhide, that's right.
And I know that some of you have been
over there too as friends or as temporary caretakers, kind of for a few hours. And I'm wondering if any of you had those experiences on the TV too while you were there to watch them over and over again. So, okay, I see you just keeping quiet about that. One of the things that I really liked about Nancy was her big-hearted laugh. And so when we were watching some of those programs, we'd either make fun of something or we would just laugh because it was funny. But she would start usually and have this huge laugh about her, and then I would start laughing, and then it was that contagious, where it would go back and forth. And it was just one of my joys to be there when that was happening. We also had times when it was sad, because of course life is sad sometimes, and there are sorrows, and I was glad that I was such a friend that she could tell me about what was going on, and that I could tell her what was going on. And it was a time, I stayed there 2 to 5 hours, depending upon that particular day, about 3 days a week for a year and a half. So there was a lot of time to have friendship and companionship with each other. So I want to just say a note here about BB. Now BB is the dog. BB was fat and sassy. BB liked to snuggle next to Nancy, like really snuggling, like licking the pillow all the time, or just cuddling up so close that there wasn't any space. And that happened particularly for me, of what I saw during those last weeks and months, where BB just didn't want to let her out of her sight. That includes a ritual, tiny ritual that BB and I had, where she would hear me coming through the door. She would bark and bark and bark and bark, run on up, give me one lick, just one, just to acknowledge that I was there. Not her favorite person, because there was a pecking order in who she liked. Nancy, Sierra, and when I was there, I would be number 3. And so she would give me one lick, turn around, run, barking to let Nancy know that I was there. So, for me, I've had a number of times in my life where when someone passed, whether it was really soon to that time or later, it could have been even years later, where they would give me a sign that we were still thinking about each other. And that happened for me one day about a week or so after Nancy passed. I'd come to the house, and as I came to the house, I noticed that on the steps going into the mobile home, that there was a package. Now, Nancy had taken a supplement that she got through me, but it came through the mail. And there was that supplement that day. Now, the reason that it's important is that usually when a package came, they would ring the bell or whatever, and Sierra would know about it, and so the chances of Sierra seeing the package were much greater than me having to just walk there, walk up the steps, and there's the package right there, saying Nancy Slocum's name on there. So for me, that was a sign that we were each just thinking about each other. And last, one of the best memories that I have of Nancy is that she was seated and I was standing up, and she just reached over, put her head on my shoulder, and we just sat there for a couple of minutes. And it was just one of the most loving times that we had had. So that's another memory that I cherish. So, as we remember Nancy in all of her ways, let's say goodbye in our own ways as well. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mo, and Nancy was my best friend for the last 15 or 16 years. And she was the greatest friend a girl could have. And we had so many laughs together, tears, but more laughs, and just so many good times to remember. And I know one time we were at a retreat, and we were sharing a cabin, and I went in the bathroom, and she had left her shoes, the socks still in the shoes, and the pants over the socks, and it looked just like a fireman would do. We laughed a long time. It was fun. So anyway, I just have something to read that I really like. I give you this one thought to keep. I am with you still, I do not sleep. I am 1,000 winds that blow. I am the diamond glints on snow. I am the sunlight on ripened green. I am the gentle autumn rain. When you awaken in the mornings, hush, I am the swift uplifting rush of quiet birds in circled flight. I am the soft stars that shine at night. Sorry, do not think of me as gone. I am with you still in each new dawn.
So I'm going to read two very short pieces. First one is by Ella Ezquerra. 'Tis a fearful thing to love what death can touch. To love, to hope, to dream, and oh, to lose. A thing for fools, this, but a holy thing to love. For your life has lived in me, your laugh once lifted me, your word was a gift to me. To remember these things brings painful joy. 'Tis a human thing, love, a holy thing, to love what death can touch. And I don't know who wrote this one, very brief. I am released. I dance in the cosmos. I am unbound. I carry earth light with me as I step out of my body and out of the world free.
you all so much. It's time now to let whoever would like to share a memory. Reverend Ruth has a wireless mic. She'll run it over to you. We're going to ask you to be mindful so that everybody who wants to share can share. So, you know, if you could share for just a couple minutes, and we'll have plenty of time afterwards too. So, yeah, Reverend Ruth, I think Ellen's got her hand up already.
I don't know how long ago this was, but Sierra and her mom and me and Mariska and the dog all went camping on the Applegate River. We had such a fun time. And I remember the dog, Black Lab, butt wagged big time. I just love that. And Nancy was the first person I ever saw that put pink and purples in her hair. I'd never seen that before, and I just loved it. And her eyes would sparkle. And she just had this glow about her, so I'm really happy that I got in her life.
Thank you. Just a reminder to put this microphone close to your mouth. Who else?
I'm Sal. I met Nancy about 30 plus years ago. I think Sierra was about 6 years old then. And I was her handyman. The first really encounter we had was on a Grants Pass roundup, an AA roundup. We went to a dance together. And then the first real big memories is Nancy loved to barbecue turkeys. And she became good at it, because every year we'd go over her house and she would cook them, and then a couple of them didn't turn out right, but after a couple of times she really wired that in and was able to, I think it was like a 10 or 12 pound turkey, and she had a Weber barbecue, and she got good at doing that. And I popped in and out of her life for about 30 something years. And not to take up a whole lot of time, when she was a board member, she would call me up and we would go over, and she would help use me as a sounding board and feedback of what was going on here at CSL and like that. And then we'd have some potlucks over her house, and the last time was the TV. I was going over there, and we were, this is like about a year or two before COVID, and go over her place and do swimming and have eat-overs and watch movies together. And I popped in. She's also the one that introduced me to CSL. And this is probably in 2000, maybe 2000, right around there. And her friend Sierra Faith started trying to talk to me about CSL, and I just wasn't ready yet. When I lost my leg, it all became a different thing, and I started going up to CSL and Grants Pass.
Thank you, Sal.
Thank you
so much. I'm so glad she did introduce you to Sal. I'm grateful for that.
Thank you. I think there was a hand up back here.
Hi, I'm Stuart, and I met Nancy through the recovery community. Someone's already mentioned it, so there goes anonymity. But, she needed a handyman. I don't know where Sal came in. I didn't know she was double dating. Anyway, she did a lot of stuff at her pool house and then at her new house, and so I just did her jobs, and we sat and visited. She had a nice guitar, so I would play sometimes. And one time I sang the song, "Give yourself to love, love is what you're after. Open up your heart to tears and laughter. Give yourself to love, give yourself to love." Anyway, she always had a nice guitar to play too.
Beautiful. Who else?
I met Nancy when I first moved to this area in about 2006, and I met her in a 12-step program, and she was a great friend, and she was my sponsor in at least one of those programs. We were in a couple together, And she was a great camping buddy. I also got to go camping with her. She was always ready for a laugh, really fun to be with. She worked really hard on herself to evolve. She gave a lot to other people, and I feel that I am better for having known her.
Beautiful, thank you. Who else would like to say something? Okay.
Oh, I don't need that.
Am I on time? Some of our fellow board members are here. Nancy was an awesome board president, and that's really how I got to know her. She was organized and fearless, but eventually became a good friend. And one of my favorite members, it's been mentioned but not in detail, was one of those theme parties, Sierra. It was Jaws in the backyard in the summer. So we were watching the movie from the pool. And in the pool were body parts with blood made out of, plastic, like fingers and whatever. And then when we went in to eat afterwards, all the food, talk about a theme, all the food was like severed fingers, a cupcake with a shark's, fin. I mean, it was just such fun, such fun. This woman she was brilliant and organized and a great board president, and yet, oh, did she know how to have a good time. I mean, these are from her karaoke party, and I think that was just a year ago, wasn't it, Stuart? I mean, it was fairly recently, but she karaoke, danced, and we all wore these, so God, I'll miss her. But I'm so grateful that we all got to come and share. Maybe somebody else wants to share. Yeah. Thank you.
Nancy, my best friend for so many years. I think in 95, we became really close. I knew her from recovery rooms, but in 95 we started working a program together, and we were joined at the hip. We used to joke that if we were into women, we would have been a couple. We'd get together on New Year's Eve and go to Jacksonville Inn and do stuff, but I just admired her so much that she could just figure out how to do things I had no clue how to do. And we went on so many rafting trips. I just loved that. The great rafting trips we did together, and with the kids, and camping, and all of that. And then there was a time where we kind of drifted apart, and I was so grateful that we reconnected about 10 years before now. And that meant a lot to me. She asked me to sponsor her, and I'm so glad that I got to be close to her at the end. And just real quick, I had this experience about 3 weeks ago, maybe. I was thinking about buying her house, and I wasn't sure if that was a good idea or not. And I was kind of questioning myself. And I found this piece of paper under my desk I'd been rummaging through, and I reached down to pick it up and opened it, and the first thing I saw was in her handwriting, in the memo on this check she'd been paying me back for something. It said, "Thank you," from Nancy. And I really felt she was just telling me, yes, thank you, and she'll be with me always, and I know she loved each and every one of you that is here today.
Thank you. Anyone else would like to say a few words?
My name is Sue, and I was a member of the board for a while. I think Nancy had gone off by then, but she was always so much fun, and we just loved her. We were over at the other building. I don't think she was there too long, but the pool party, I'll never forget that Jaws party. We searched for sharks, blow-up sharks, and we'd get in the pool and go after people, and we just had the best time. That was so much fun, and I helped her when she sold her house. I helped her move some of her stuff and sell it before she moved, and I got to know her pretty well. Even bought some earrings from her, and I loved BB. I already told Sierra, if she decides she doesn't need just pet sit for a while.
I might take you up on that.
Yeah, 'cause she was the sweetest thing. I haven't seen her for years now, but yeah. And I got boxes from her for when we were moving, and just, you know, little bits here and there. I did things with her, not a lot, but she was just special. You know, I just really loved her, and yeah, she was wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
What corner?
Was it you?
No.
Oh.
No, just saying hi.
Oh.
I thought she was waiting.
It's we could have an auction. Oh, no, that wasn't. Anyway, I would like to do one, but I wasn't gonna go in front of anyone else. Anyway, Nancy, okay, talk about being on boards. Okay, so she was on my board when I became a minister, and she believed in me at a time that was just so perfect, and she knew how to do everything too, and that was very needed in terms of all the organization of starting a center. I started a center from scratch. I graduated as a minister and said, hey, let's start one. While I had a small child, so thinking back on that was, But anyway, she believed in me. She anchored the whole thing. It was Nancy and Tony Della Penna and Kathleen Gaddis. So those were my original board. None of them are now still living. But was such an important time in my life. And so she holds a really special place for me in my evolvement, I would just say, in so many ways. So I'm just so glad to be able to be here. And I love the picture of her with the dolphin. So beautiful. Dolphins are a magical animal for me as well. So anyway, I just wanted to say that. So, and Sierra was in my foundations class as a teenager. That was a while ago.
I think it was like 13.
I think we had to get permission from home office to have a teenager in the class. I mean, it was like that ancient. I mean, not that you're that, I mean, you know what I mean. It was, you're one of the pioneers of, you know, teenagers taking foundations. Now it's like, ho-hum, that's what happens. But at the time, it was very special. Anyway, all right.
Thank you all. Thank you.
You don't need this one.
I don't, actually.
That's what we need.
Thank you all, so wonderful. We can continue that when we have finished in the social hall. So before we see a slideshow that Sierra's prepared, which will be shown up here, I just remembered two little things. Nancy had when she lived in her home before the next home, there was a sign on the front entryway that said, beware, something like this, dog can't hold her liquor. And it was true. And we used to have 4th of July parties for the center at her house that were just unbelievable with super soakers. And I remember once I super soaked a dear congregant who is now passed, and Rod Ramsey, and he ended up going home. If you knew Rod, he was old, and I got a little carried away. That was the energy in Nancy's sphere. It was a lot of fun. So let's roll our slideshow, Tom. Thank you. Oh yeah, do you want to say something, Sarah? Okay.
ground. I can't shoot them anymore. That long black cloud is coming down. I feel I'm knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, 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 knocking on heaven's door.
Give Sierra a little love for that. Alright. So we're just about to wrap this up, and I knew this would happen. There we go. Nope. I knew this would happen, so I made myself another copy of the closing. Because we had a lot of people out here. So, just a few closing remarks, and then we'll break for fellowship and food.
I don't think your mic is.
Oh, you're right, it is not. Thank you, Joy. No, it is. The poet Khalil Gibran has written of death, "Our spirit is freed from its restless tides, that it may rise and expand and seek God unencumbered." Our spoken memories and gratitude for Nancy can be as prayers that lift her in her new freedom. Today, as much as it grieves us, we release Nancy to that greater awareness of her God essence, the greater freedom, that place of limitless possibilities, of total love and total peace. We thank Nancy for her life and the portion of that she gave to each of us. We thank her for her quirky sense of humor, for her unconditional love of others, for the light she shared with the world just by being who she is. We thank her for loving and inspiring presence that will always be with us. Infinite presence of divine love, Father, Mother, God, we raise our hearts and minds in celebration and deep gratitude for the life of Nancy Ellen Slocum. Nancy loved us and allowed us to love her. We simply can't ask for more than that. And so it is. And so it is. This concludes our service. Please join us in Bosworth Hall for refreshments and a continuing to share any of your memories and thoughts. Oh, what am I? Oh, there is a guest book, Joy is signaling. And where is the guest book? Is it in here? Yeah, on the table in the back. Okay, near the back door there's a guest book. We'd love y'all to sign that. So if you don't plan to stay for long, please sign. Thank you so much for being here.